right, troops, welcome back. Jeff Bowders here with Drum Discipline Academy, and this is our second lesson in our two-part study of practicing creating strong, clean, consistent double bass fills. Let's not waste any more time because we got to get after it. Here we go. If you haven't checked out lesson 1, please do that now because we covered a lot of foundational concepts that are essential for you to get the most out of all these lessons. And so just like lesson 1, we're going to cover a lot of different concepts, a lot of different examples and exercises, which is why, once again, I want to make sure you download your free PDF for this lesson so that you can follow along, get everything you can out of it, and just always have it as a reference. And then also you can complete the collection because I know you want to be complete. Triplet double bass fills are some of my all-time favorite, and I probably play them way more than I should, but anyway, that's a different story. Like we talked about in lesson 1, if they're not played with evenness and consistency, they can quickly sound like garbage. So let's get back to basics and let's just focus on the quality and consistency of these fills. These first few exercises are going to be based on check patterns. If you're not familiar with check patterns, they're basically just practice routines that help establish the basic feel which the new desired technique is ultimately based on. All right, so still keeping with the theme of only playing 2 bass drum notes, one with the right, one with the left, our first hand-foot combination we're going to study in this lesson is going to be 1 note with the hands and then 2 notes with the feet. So this first exercise is going to be 1 bar of 8th note triplets played all with the hands. The second bar is going to be that 3-note hand-foot combination of 1 note with the hand and then right foot and then left foot. Make sure that the feel and consistency of the note values remain the same even while transitioning between the 2 measures, okay? That's going to be the challenge. We don't want to hear something like this. The focus is to play this exercise more like this.
1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, now let's bump up the note value to 16th note triplets. A lot of times, this fill is based off of straight 8th notes. So basically, our check pattern is going to be just straight 8th notes with the hands, right, left, but in between each 8th note, we're going to play 2 evenly spaced 16th note triplets with our feet, right, left, once again. But make sure they're triplets and not 32nd notes. This can happen a lot without us really even realizing it. So this is 1B, but as 32nd notes, which is what we're not aiming for. Now, not that that's wrong and you should never play that. Of course, that's a very useful technique. I play it all the time. Thousands of drummers play it all the time. But the thing is, if you're wanting to create more of a round triplet feeling, all of those notes really need to be evenly subdivided, more like this.
3, 4.
Now we can use those exact same check patterns to work on other extremely popular and useful hand-foot patterns. Remember, 4 notes with the hands and 2 notes with the feet? Well, we can do that with triplets as well, all right? So let's try it first with 8th note triplets. This is 2A.
3, 4.
quality control issue I really want you to be aware of is that sometimes when we play these 4 notes with the hands and 2 notes with the feet, these 4 and 2 hand foot combinations, sometimes there can be a tendency to really focus on the first 2 notes with the hands, and then those last 2, beats 3 and 4, I guess, they kind of get forgotten. And so there's this weird dynamic inconsistency within our fill. It sounds like this. Check this out. Now, if that's a sound you're intending to produce, then awesome, that's fantastic. But if you want all those notes to have the same articulation and sound, you got to make sure you're playing all the notes with intention. Right? Everything's got to be dynamically even, dynamically balanced. So let's use this next check pattern as a way to really check our dynamic consistency.
3, 4.
All right, let's check out some fills using these 2 hand-foot combinations. So this first one is going to be 2 3-note combinations. That's 1 note with the hand and then 2 notes with the feet. And then we're going to do 1 6-note combination. So that's going to be 4 notes with the hand, right, left, and then 2 notes with the feet. All right, so this is 3A on your PDF.
3, 4. 2.
In the same way we converted our 16th note fills into 32nd note fills in lesson 1, we're going to do the same thing here with our triplets. So basically, we're just going to play our 8th note triplet fill that we just played. We're going to play that twice, or just repeat it 2 times in a row. And then by doubling the rate, doubling the speed, we got 16th note triplets. Boom, just like that. It's simple. But once again, make sure that those 2 kick notes that we're playing here, make sure that they remain 16th note triplets and they don't morph into 32nd notes. Sometimes there's a tendency for that, and we want to be aware of it. All right, so let's check it out.
3, 4.
Now, of course, we got to orchestrate this tasty combo of goodness. So for the 2 3-note combinations, let's play tom 3 and snare. So basically, right hand on tom 3 and then right foot, and then left hand on the snare drum, right foot, left foot. All right. Now, this is actually a pretty cool exercise or fill in of itself. Okay, for the 6-note phrase, the 4 notes we're going to play with the hands, we're going to orchestrate that as right hand on tom 3, left hand tom 1, and then snare, snare. So tom 3, tom 1, snare, snare. Let's check out both the 8th and the 16th note triplet versions.
2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2,
Now, finally, I want to leave you with a semi-popular, but it's actually just a super cool combination. It's basically a 9-note phrase that's comprised of one 3-note combination and one 6-note combination, which is stuff we've been doing throughout this entire lesson. So the cool thing about this combo is the phrasing creates this dotted quarter note feel that just produces a really interesting tension and release within the fill itself. So I think you'll be able to hear it. Let's check it out. This is 4A.
3, 4. Two, three, four.
Now let's orchestrate it. So for the 3-note phrase, we're just going to stay on the snare drum. But for the 6-note phrase, the 4 notes we're going to play with the hands, we're going to voice it as right hand on tom 2, left hand tom 1, right hand tom 3, and then finishing with the left hand on the snare. This is going to be a cool orchestration. I know you're going to dig it. Let's check it out.
3, 4. Two, three, four.
Okay, troops, that is it for these 2 foundational lessons on building strong and consistent double bass fills. A lot of times, I think we take the quality of these fills for granted. I know I have. I mean, I've listened to many a gig tape where I thought that on the gig I was just crushing, but then listening back, I quickly received a right hook of humility to the forehead, realizing that I wasn't quite playing nearly as clean as I thought I was. So in these lessons, I just wanted to share with you the things that I started to focus on and practice to really get these sounding the way I ultimately envisioned them to. And so, and hopefully, I think they'll do the same for you. I'm pretty confident they will. You just got to put in the time, all right? So if they do, please leave me a comment. Let me know. Let me know what's worked for you, what hasn't worked so much, and then maybe I'll create another lesson based on your feedback. So let me know. That'll be awesome. Until next time, stay focused, practice with purpose, and we'll see you soon.